What I want to talk to you about is mission critical and time critical, and that's the VHA, the Venice Housing Authority. If there isn't some outside involvement and some outside scrutiny very, very quickly, we're going to end up with 50 families that I don't believe in the voucher program. I think it's a ticket to homelessness. I think it's a cruel trick. And if we don't move in a timely fashion and put some pressure onto the VHA, we're going to end up just kicking the poorest people in our town into a spiral that will send them eventually to homelessness. I note that you were mail bombed today on your servers for everybody over Tremonto Vista Park, and it's good that the community gets that involved in something that can involve the community. Where are you when we need you to help with people who will be potentially homeless? They developed their plan to move the folks out and get out of the vouchers. However, any inception of that plan or any process of that plan is supposed to have input from a residence council. They didn't have a residence council in existence. So instead what they did was they developed the plan, and in the process they were doing the elections for the residence council. Now that's just been completed last week. So now they've got 2 tons of paperwork they're going to toss onto some folks who are ill-equipped, ill-advised, do not have any representation themselves or any counseling themselves, to examine this plan in a very quick fashion in the hopes of, I think, rubber stamping it. It's not fair. It's being bulldozed. I've been talking with John Sushi, who writes with Tempo News, as well as Valerie Bouchand, who is very knowledgeable about HUD affairs and these kinds of situations. And this is a repetitive situation. What we're seeing here in Venice is what has happened to an area up in Sarasota, where they got rid of some of the HUD housing up there, and it's been typical of a process that has been going on throughout the state, and Sushi just has a tremendous amount of knowledge on that. For years we've had a council liaison to the Venice Housing Authority, and I don't recall any information even coming here about the problems that they've been going through. They've spent themselves on consultant after consultant after consultant after consultant into insolvency. And now, to solve their own problems of their own mismanagement, they spent the nut. They spent their working capital, what they should have had even for a manager. They spent it on consultants. This is like a kid with an allowance with no concept of how to spend it. Bay Indies. I got a call from Bay Indies. This gives you an idea of the madness that's going along with this, and perhaps a little bit of racism built into it, although I hesitate to throw that card out there. But somebody called me from Bay Indies. They were worried, well, they're going to be given the vouchers. The cheapest housing in town is going to be us. We don't want them moving in here. What the hell is wrong with you people? But that said, theoretically, if you're getting the VHA vouchers or you're living in VHA, you're supposed to be having a criminal background check. It's a one strike, you're out drug policy. So you're going to be getting behaviorally the best of the poor. That are approved by VHA, so it makes so that argument made absolutely no sense whatsoever. But that gives you an indication of some of the madness. I'm upset about what's been going on here. I've been trying to research like mad. Every time I get ready to write a story, I find out something new that throws previous line of thought right out the window. It's an incredibly complex story, and I'm perhaps the most ill-equipped to write it. Sushi and Valerie Bouchand are arguably the best minds for this. I am begging council to call the VHA and ask for a joint meeting between City Council and the VHA, and you don't have much time. Thank you.
Thank you. Comment?
Mr. Mayor, I attended the November meeting of the VHA, and I have a lot of concerns myself. Later today, under council reports, I'll address that in a little more detail, and I have a request and suggestion.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Lang.